today's episode, we're going to discuss the gender diversity in the tech industry. I have two special guests. I have Selma Imene and Olga Owen. Surname is so difficult to say. So Selma, tell us more about yourself and your background in tech.
All right. My name is Selma Imene. I'm a cybersecurity specialist at a banking institution in Namibia, or at one of the banking institutions in Namibia. I've over 10 years experience in the IT industry. So how I got into this industry, so growing up, we didn't actually have the opportunity to explore all the fields in the industry. So our goal was to study and secure a job at the end of the day. So in secondary school, my big sisters had friends in the tech world. So I think this is where the industry took off at that stage when my older siblings were in university. So my sister's friends had chosen IT as their field of study. And then being in that space, it inspired me a lot just to get into the industry itself. And then, here we are, 10 years.
Okay, so my name is Owen Ichuzuba. I'm an IT auditor for one of the big four audit firms in Namibia here. And I also focus more on cybersecurity as well, so that is something I'm quite passionate about. How I found myself in the industry was early on in my career or earlier in my life. I just had an interest in computers. I just wanted to be around computers. I just wanted to do things with computers, you understand? And I just pursued that. Even in high school, I used to do crazy things with my friends, naughty stuff I don't want to say here, but you can imagine in the field that I'm in, we should just do things like that. And even in university, I didn't even apply for anything else. I just applied for cybersecurity. When you know at NAS when you apply, they say first choice, second choice. I didn't even apply second choice, just cyber first choice, and then I got in. So that's how I find myself where I am today, and just happy to be here.
Okay. So since you mentioned that 3 years now in tech industry, so are you still enjoying tech industry, or you feel like there was something better maybe you could have done?
No, for me personally, I believe that tech was made for me. I don't know if that's people still believe in that, but for me, I feel like I was made to be in tech, right? Especially for cybersecurity, things like that. It's a dynamic, it's always changing, things like that. Now we're talking about AI, you know, every single day something is coming up and you only need to just reskill yourself and just make sure you are up to date, and that is what I love.
One thing I've noticed, if you look like, let's say 10 or 15 years back, the number of female in tech, like let's say at school, was lower compared to what we are currently seeing now. So I don't know if that was also the case in your class, or...
I would say that was very much the case, because you'd see the classes and you'd see 3 females, 4 females, like where are the ladies, you know? And from the first year, I noticed this trend, like you'll have maybe 20 ladies out of a group of 150. And you can already imagine the groups are going to get smaller and smaller the further you go.
Now, I have a job to tell you guys with that. When you were doing IT, okay, back then it was what? IT. So now we were doing sysadmin and networks, and it was easier for the guys to know who was the most beautiful girl in our stream. So 80% of the guys went after that lady because you could count them. So just to say like, ladies were really few there. So yes, Selma, during your time, how was it?
Basically, we were outnumbered by men, definitely. It is a thing of tech, because let me start from patriarchy already. The tasks that women and men have, they're already separated from the beginning. And getting into the tech world, this is already a male-dominated industry, and as women, we are fighting just to share the equal opportunities that we have, or that we can also bring about to make this industry a success.
But so now maybe the issue is also with the ladies, how they communicate among themselves. Because I do recall when I was doing telecommunication with my cousin, now my stepmom actually made fun of her, saying like, why would you go do such a field, knowing that, you know, like in telecommunication you have to go maybe on top of a pole or something like that. Now imagine you being there with your skirt. So now that's kind of killed her already to be like, I'm going to do this.
Exactly.
Then now she's not even doing telecommunication anymore. She's now working at the airport where she's translating and all that. But I think that just our mom saying that kind of killed her as well. So I think the ladies are also not encouraging each other to go into these fields that are more male dominated and all that. Yes, Olga, do you have something to say?
Yeah, but on that, I don't think it's even just the females. I think it's just society in general. We've had these, they call it stereotypes of the types of roles that men are more for IT, are more for the, you know, the hard jobs, muscle jobs. Ladies are more for the desk jobs, more for the softer jobs, you understand? So it's very important that we're having this type of conversation to sort of break down these stereotypes and educate people that, because in the example you just gave now, if I believe you said your mom, right?
Yeah.
If your mom sort of had a broader perspective to say that, okay, ladies can also do this, ladies can also do that, I believe you wouldn't have had that sort of conversation to discourage your sister, your cousin, right?
Yeah.
So that is, I believe that is happening across the world, across Namibia, when ladies are just being discouraged or they don't feel like this is not for me. And we're seeing that today with the low numbers in tech and the low numbers in cybersecurity.
But now, what can ladies do to try to close that gap or to mitigate that issue, like so that there's no more stereotyping?
Well, there's so many things that ladies can do. These initiatives are already a top of talk in governments and society at large. So, say for instance in the workplace, we need to have sort of like groups where we report to management. Say for instance, maybe HR has a certain group that makes policies and that sort of like, what do you call it? I'm not an HR expert, but it's DAI, diversity,
equity,
yes, inclusion, where there's already frameworks that can guide you into implementing or including that sort of equity and inclusiveness, in the workplace.
And what you were saying, if you can think about it, there's something in preparing for this conversation. I read a quote that was saying that eventually all companies are going to become tech companies, right? In the sense that technology is gonna be integrated in every single thing that we do, and it's what we're seeing. It's gonna be integrated in health. It's integrated in health already, in taxes and everything. So eventually, you come to a space whereby tech is everywhere you look, right?
Yeah.
So like you were saying, it's very important that early on we encourage our youth, encourage our girls to tell them that you can do this. There's nothing that a guy can do that you cannot do. Understand? So you just start to get education from home early on, and just make sure that you include everybody in the workplace. Because if you're saying, let's use this quote to say that all companies are going to become tech companies, there's going to be a certain group that's going to be excluded because we're not seeing our females represented in tech. So I think it's just important to have these conversations early on with our people. Please, let's push.
Can you cut quickly?
Okay, good. So yeah, we always hear that tech is a men's field and all that is dominated by men, and many ladies feel like they should not come to tech because men are taking over the tech industry, or it's populated by men. So what can ladies do to forget this concept or to embrace the tech industry?
Okay, so I think ladies should come up with initiatives like, say for example, non-NGOs that sort of bring that awareness to the communities that focus on women to take part in the technology sector. There's even so many that I know of. There's a lady that I went to school with that also is taking part in this, but she's focused on the development side, software development. So she's encouraging kids, for that matter. But I want focus to be more on women since they were underrepresented. It's really.
But I think what I can add on that is the problem or the issue is with the ladies maybe not empowering themselves. Because for the guys, I think we've tried. Most governments in the world are male dominated. Most presidents are male, but you find women representations, and the question is, what are they doing for other ladies? Now, I'll give you as a scenario. I think Rwanda was the first country in Africa to have more females as part of the cabinet. Now, here we see Namibia, ICT industry being led by a lady. Now, what are the initiatives she is taking, or you think she should take, to bring more ladies into the field?
I believe she should encourage more women to take part in the management roles. So when there's a leader that sort of the ladies look up to, that will encourage them to sort of like a role model.
Yeah.
That will encourage the women to take part into the technology sector because they see that, I can also get there one day. It really, that plays a major role.
Now, I just found something on Google. It says that female CEOs are more likely to be participative and empowering compared to male CEOs. So this just to add on what you said. So there's really a need for females to take these leadership positions because they empower.
Yes.
And now, because they are empowering, and if we can have more female being on top of the tech industries, I think there's a high opportunity of them empowering other female ladies to also come. Because if they don't have those top positions, it's quite difficult for them to do. And another statistic is that 17% of the CEOs, there are only 17% female CEOs in the tech industry in the world. So there's really a lot of work ladies need to do. And Olga, what do you think?
Yes, I agree with what Sama was saying, that the women that are already there, they need to sort of come up with these initiatives to sort of help these ladies and just to come up into the industry. And maybe I can put a call to action to the ladies, especially also in cybersecurity, that are in these management positions or these corporate positions, to take up mentees, especially like to motivate these ladies, to show them that this is possible, this is what I did to get where I am, these are the mistakes I made, so that they don't make these mistakes. Because if we have a society whereby we're all looking out for each other, the ladies are pulling each other up, the guys are pulling each other up, I feel like we can sort of bring that balance, you understand? So that is what we're talking about.
Okay, so I'm yet to find a company led by, let's say, a lady, and the whole management is just ladies. But you'll find companies whereby the MD or the CEO is a man, and all the exco are just men. So why is that the case?
This is because we are not represented enough, and it sort of comes from the fact that we are undermining our capabilities as women already from the beginning. And you find those that are quite, they've quite done a lot to better their, to be heard, to be visible up there. But those, it's not that, they had to grow thick skin, just to be where they can be heard. So basically, that is why most of the higher positions, they do not have a lot of women because of the underrepresentation, or it's a mindset, basically.
But remember, this company, let's say company A, the MD, it's a lady. Why is she not bringing, let's say, CEO and the other positions to also be just ladies? You see that she will bring guys as well. But you find companies with the MD, it's a man, and all the other guys are also just, all the other positions filled by men. So why that? Yes, Olga.
I don't know, I don't know, that's a tough question. But I think from what we are seeing, from what I'm seeing, there is progress being made, whereby even the regulators are also coming into the fray to say that from a governance perspective, a certain percentage of your exco or a certain percentage of your board needs to be diverse. You understand?
Yeah.
So I think to sort of push the needle or to push the ball forward when you're talking about equalizing the diversity, these things need to come into place. Like the regulators are coming.
One thing that I picked from what you said, I think gonna facilitate this conversation or this issue that ladies are facing is that if there can be regulations or standards and all that that says that you need to have X amount of ladies or your MD needs to be lady, that's gonna facilitate the process. But if there's to just come from one individual to do it, it's gonna be a huge problem because if it's a regulation, you need to comply. So that's gonna make things move faster. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it has to be a holistic type of thing. We talk about, you have to also speak to the education industry. They also have to play their own role.
Yes.
The government have to also play their own part, because let's say we have a scenario whereby we are saying we want ladies only, or we want 50% ladies, right? But then you don't have those ladies. What are you gonna do? Then you have the situation where people feel like you're just hiring ladies for the sake of filling numbers. Understand?
I'll give you an example. I once worked for a company where I was told maybe I don't like working with ladies. Now, I ended up hiring, I think 80 or 90% of the people were ladies, just to prove a point, but which did not work. Because now it wasn't based on skills, it was based on gender. So those are also things that you need to consider, that even if you have to come up with regulations, but let's not bring the company down because of just bringing in the ladies. And not to say the ladies are not performing or they cannot perform. I'm not saying that. But just to say that, yes, you can put it as let's put it as optional, or say like added advantage or something like that. Or we recommend you, but not put it as like, this should be like as a must.
You see, even when they advertise positions, they say women in people with disabilities are encouraged to apply and all that. So that already highlights the stereotype that women are facing, because then,
Okay. So yes, Olga, why I'm asking these questions to you is that, and it's good that I have both of you because I can get two different views. I can get a Western Africa view and I can get a SADC view. So how is culture affecting this diversity in terms of work or women intake? How is culture affecting that?
Okay. So I would say that, of course, we are making strides to move forward and go away from this mindset, but there are still people who have that mindset that women are meant to be at home, men are meant to be at work, understand? So there is that sort of mindset that women are less capable than men, understand? And I think that has sort of played a role to the situation we find ourselves now, whereby these roles, the ladies are not coming, you don't see ladies in these roles. It's not that the ladies are not there. It's just that these stereotypes are there, and there's something we call unconscious bias, right? So you will not even realize that you're being biased, but you're being biased when it comes to promoting a lady. You think, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing, let me just push this guy, understand? So yeah, that's what I think from a society perspective, but we are making strides to go away from that.
So in terms of like West Africa, do you see like a lot of improvement in terms of bringing ladies into top positions in the tech field?
Yes, I do see that there is a lot of movement for the ladies that are actually coming up. Even one of my favorite I don't want to say influencers, let's say creators, or to say, is a female lady. She's from Nigeria. Her name is Confidence. And this lady, she's so wonderful. She's bringing cybersecurity to people, empowering women also. And I just there is somebody that came as a female that's just pushing for the empowerment of people. So yeah.
And just to add on that is the only African sitting on EC Council board is a lady from Nigeria. So it's just to show that yes, ladies are really doing it, but I think it's just a number that is not there. Yes, Selma, so what can you tell us about SADC, ladies intake? How's your culture affecting?
Well, the numbers are really growing exponentially compared to the previous years because of definitely there's more being done in the sector in terms of women empowerment and all that. So that mindset, we just need to keep that going, because it will really, really help within the innovation, technology innovation, because we are all needed. Our minds, we think differently, we all think differently. Everybody can contribute to the success of technology. So in the beginning, really, we were not encouraged to take part in the technology world. Our parents didn't really know that women can also be as capable as good as men in this sector. But now we've grown past that, so now we just need to push forward from there. Yeah.
Okay. So another example I'll give is like right now, I think she's acting executive dean of computer science at NAST. It's a lady. So again, that just shows that, and the previous dean was also a lady.
Yes.
So that just shows that ladies are really there, but I think they just need to bring more ladies, encourage more ladies into this field.
Yeah.
I would like to know, within tech or within the IT industry, are there specific fields that are more favorable for ladies?
All right. I believe yes, they are. Okay. It's a thing of women are said to be they talk a lot and they like to socialize and all that. So a hacker or program is usually someone sitting in the basement coding and all that with a hoodie and all that. So they like to stay on their own. On their own. So with women, I think what I've seen that the field that women are more interested in is like cybersecurity awareness, where they can talk to people, like making them aware of what to do and what not to do in terms of cybersecurity. And then business computing, a lot analytical skills as well, like business computing. That is a more female sort of, where you see a lot of females represented in those fields.
Okay. Okay, as you mentioned that you're into auditing. Now, what I've also seen is that there are many ladies doing auditing, compliance and risk. So, have you also observed the same? And if yes, what's the reason?
So, from my perspective, like you said, even in my company now, there are actually more females than males. For a long time, actually, I was even at my level, I was the only guy for a long time. So, I've seen that ladies are more detail-oriented. So for audit, that's actually quite perfect, because they can find that one finding that somebody would have just overlooked. They'll find it, they will dig for it. And analytical skills, like you said, I think that's also quite important. And I'm just going to raise my hand and see. And I've seen the ladies at my company, those ladies are good at what they do. And I don't know, man. Sometimes I think sometimes I have to just like step back and be like, wow, that was quite good, because they're so social. They can ask the question, they can ask those hard questions. I was sitting in a meeting one time. I'm just gonna give a personal experience. I was sitting in a meeting one time, and this lady was grilling this guy. She was grilling this guy on, even me. I was like, I would never have asked those questions, but she was really pushing for this, because she's confident in her work. She knows what is expected out of these companies. And I think that is just something that I was like, wow, she was made for this type of role. And another thing, ladies are very much risk aware, understand? So that also ties into the whole risk compliance, things like that. But I also just want to add on top of that I don't think, of course there are those roles whereby ladies can push more, but I don't think there's actually a position to say that penetration testers is not for guys, it's for ladies, it's, things like that. So anything, you can do anything, ladies. You can do anything in this world. So yeah, that is just how.
Maybe what you should also say is that society, we need to encourage people to understand, like to do like a SWOT analysis. Like just know your strength, know your weakness, so that's gonna help you to see the different opportunities that might be in the market, because ladies can already see, yes, I want to go do tech, but these are the fields that will be much easier for me. And again, as part of career fairs at universities, maybe this is also a discussion that we need to start having just to guide the students, because now you find someone doing, let's say, sysadmin networks, but now when they're done, they become an auditor. So yes, it's good to have these skills and all that, but maybe it could have been better for them to start with auditing and by now be a guru in the field. So I don't know what you think.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, because like something you even mentioned off camera, like SOC. Like I used to be in the SOC. That was when before I came where I am now. I used to be in the SOC, so a lot of the times you'd see that the ladies, especially now when they have
now what is SOC? Yeah, tell us first.
Okay,
what is
SOC? Okay, SOC stands for Security Operations Center. So this is where you, in a sense, I just want to summarize it, but in a sense, you just monitor the client's network. If you see anything fishy, you are there, you see it, and then you can call the client or you can tell them that, hey, we've seen this thing. So a lot of the times, the reason why an attack succeeds is not because, of course, the controls are not there, but a lot of the times it's because the response was slow. So the SOC sort of reduces that response time to say, okay, we saw the alert in 3 minutes time, so you guys can respond.
Okay.
So that's what the SOC was about. So of course, you're monitoring a network. This is 24 hours, a lot of the times 24/7, and especially for mothers, they find it a bit of a challenge to sort of find the time and also balance motherhood and also working in a SOC. So I think, like you said, it's important to have these conversations to see whereby roles that are better fit for the ladies. But yeah.
So what I've seen is that at school, many ladies that were doing IT were not so concerned about makeup and all this compared to ladies doing other fields. But now when it comes to the industry, give them 2 years, they start doing all this makeup, all this, all these things. So I think for someone who's really into makeup at university, it will be a challenge for them to really go into the tech industry based on what they've observed. So I don't know what's your experience, what do you think about it? Like someone who's into, like someone is like outgoing, do you think the tech industry will easily fit them, or it's something that might be challenging for them?
Well, I can say that it's tough already. The subjects and all the requirements take up so much already. It's a lot. So basically you need to find that balance. If you like going out, if you like to do your nails or whatever, which is nothing, we want to look good as ladies. But then I found that you need to have priorities, you know. Doesn't mean if like you need to prioritize what is important, you know.
So then maybe time management is the problem.
It's sort of time management. The nails and stuff is fine, but you just need to prioritize. What is gonna like sort of benefit you in the end? Is it your nails, your makeup, the time you spend partying? So I'm talking from experience, all right? So my first job interview, I was an intern at a certain company, institution, and I was called for an interview. It was very short notice. I don't know, I was informed via email, but I did not check the email. So that morning, I got a phone call, but ma'am, we are waiting for you, one of the people on the interviewee list. I was like, okay. Currently I need to go home and change, or I said, no, you have to come, ma'am, because we will not have that much time to wait for you. So I was like, okay, fine. I took a cab to the place, and then when I got there, everyone was looking so beautiful and all dressed up, and you know, I felt a bit out of place. But then I told myself it has to be done. It's either now or never. I stood there, I went in, and the panel was looking at me like, okay, she didn't get the memo or what? So I sat down, and then everything kept flowing. Because I was also in a hurry. I was actually busy on someone's computer. I was a computer technician at that time. And then...
But there's a lady going into...
Yes. So I already had that experience when I was an intern, so everything was flowing, and then interview successfully finished, and then the next morning I was called that, ma'am, you are the successful candidate. I almost collapsed, like how? why me? I was dressed as I am, and you know, so it's not about the dress code, it's all about what you bring to the table, your mind. Yeah, so that's just the experience that I had.
So what you are saying is that if a person is having so much time to things such as like how they look and all that, it might be challenging for them to make it into the tech industry, because there are times whereby you'll have to go and maybe jump into a meeting or jump into an incident without even you doing all this makeup and all these things.
There's just a time where you need to kick in and do the work. So
there's no warnings.
There's no warnings and
just
stuff.
happen,
Things just happen, and you need to be ready to you know, to do the things that need to be done.
Okay.
Okay.
There's something to say.
Okay. I would just say, like, I do know ladies who are, you know, the one that have the nails, the one with the makeup, and I do know ladies who don't like that stuff. And I would say even the ones with the nails, I can name a few examples. They can still push.
Okay.
You know? And there are those ladies who, of course, the other side I mentioned, they're also still pushing. So I don't really think it's that important from my perspective. Like what Selma said just now, it's all about priorities. If you know that, okay, I have to take 3 hours, if it takes me 3 hours to do this, but I still get my work done. I think that's at the bottom line, that's what's most important.
So yes, for our viewers, episode 5, as they can see, new setup. So and again, the guest, it was really planned for us to bring the two of you. So what do you want our viewers to remember about today's topic, which is gender diversity in the tech industry?
All right. What they need to remember is that we need, as women, to take up the space, because we are equally as a sort of what's the word?
Important or competent?
Competent,
Yeah,
basically.
competent, yeah.
Okay.